Ja, herzlich willkommen zu einer neuen Ausgabe des E-Talk. Vancouver Resources Investment Konferenz, muss ich eigentlich sagen. Die Cambridge Show, früher bekannt oder wird immer von Cambridge Show gemacht. Brandon Macdonald ist hier von Fireweed Zinc und wir holen sich jetzt ein Update, was sich so Neues getan hat. Fireweed Zinc ist auch ein Mitglied der Discovery Group. Da habe ich ja auch ein Interview mit Chris Taylor gemacht von Great Bear. Da sieht man, was für Potenzial solche Aktien haben können. Hoffentlich ist er sozusagen einer der nächsten Kandidaten aus dieser Gruppe, die wirklich stark performen könnten. Brandon, thank you to have time, and
Yep.
I said in my German introduction, you are part also from the Discovery Group.
Yep.
You have really won a major success in the past 2 years. This was Great Bear.
Yep.
So help you this kind of success to your company too. Then you are a total different area. You're Zinc focused.
Yeah.
Zinc is not really the medal of the month.
No.
It's not the medal of the year.
Yeah, and when you're running a company in a kind of out of favor metal, you take stock of your property, and we think we have a fantastic project, so we're not going to do anything stupid like pick up a gold project or anything like that. But you kind of have to accept that the base metals market is probably returning in 2021, maybe late 2021. So it'll be a good run in 2021 and 2022. So what you don't do is blow yourself up in the meantime. You keep building, you keep doing what you're doing, and you know that you're going to get your, that your dividends are going to be paid when the investor eyes come back to base metals. But it helps to be, share an office and work with, Great Bear and Chris Taylor and stuff like that, and we kind of joke that we rotate who's the hot story at any given moment. So actually, mid last year, it was Fireweed that was the hot story. We had tripled in the span of about 9 months, right? So that was a point where we were worth significantly more than Great Bear. Now Great Bear is worth significantly more than us, and this is the ebbs and flows of how the market works. But it's nice because everyone wants to work with the Discovery Group.
Yeah.
They know that all our companies have legitimate projects. We don't run promotes. There's no pump and dumps. We don't waste our time with things that aren't serious. Not all of our companies succeed because this is a hit and miss business, but you have to. Every one of our companies is intended to succeed. Mm-hmm. Every one of those projects we think has a chance. Mm-hmm. So that's, I think people take notice of that, and it gives you credibility.
Mm-hmm. So I think our last interview was in September.
Mm-hmm.
So what's happened since September up to January now?
Probably the most significant thing since September was in October, November, we put out 2 drill holes from the western part of our property. Mm-hmm. This is something, part of our property only picked up in November 2018. We picked this up off Tech. It was part of their portfolio that they hadn't looked at in a long time. So we added it. This zone there called the boundary zone was always known to have these very broad, low-grade intersections of zinc, so sort of 200 to 300 meters of 2 to 3% zinc. Mm-hmm. So this is big intersections, right? Because the other parts of our project, a 30-meter intersection is big, right? Mm-hmm. So to get 300 obviously is a big deal. But those grades are not eye-catching. So we had some sense that there were structural controls on where high grade would appear in that system. Took a bit of a chance on what we thought might be the right place to drill, and we hit some pretty incredible results. So the first hole came back 230 meters, true thickness of 3.4% zinc, so about 30% higher than anything Tech had done. The second one was same thickness of 4.1%. But what was interesting is, and this is directly from surface, so this is starting in mineralization. The second hole, the first 100 meters true width was 8% zinc. And within that, there was a 6-meter interval of 42% zinc. Wow. And that's a true thickness interval. That's not an intersected width. That's the width of the structure. So to say that this was encouraging, so we already have a very big zinc lead resource, and so to have this whole new zone that shows this humongous capacity. Like there might be a really significant metal endowment there. Has got a lot of people's attention. We've traded reasonably well since then. It is a tough market for zinc plays, but we seem to have caught a little bit of love because people recognize that we are not a typical zinc play. We weren't before, and we're certainly not now. So it's nice. We have this fantastic resource already, so our value is backstopped by what was already a viable resource. But then now we've added to it this exploration story that is really incredible.
So you have the old project really established.
Yeah.
They have this discovery, or
Yeah.
not the discovery, the new
Kind of a rediscovery.
Rediscovery, and really great numbers. So.
Yeah.
100 meters with 4%, it's not wrong.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. But in general, you have the bad market. But if this market change, then maybe or hopefully your stock should run really well.
Yeah, and that's what I've been telling people. It's like, look, this is we're not a 3 to 6 month trade, right? Fireweed, ideally, if you have some belief that base metals, will have their day in the sun sometime in the next couple of years, you pick away at it now, and you hold it for 2 to 3 years, and nothing in this industry is guaranteed, but it seems to me we're a pretty good story and should be one of the ones that run when it comes back.
What do you plan for 2020?
Look, we're going to do more work in the western bit of the property. It's not that the eastern bit that we started with doesn't still have potential, but obviously the potential we're seeing in the west is very significant. It's a different style of deposit. It's instead of being these thinly laminated stratiform typical SEDEX deposits, it's this sphalerite like zinc veining, right? So it's very different. We think the analog for that is the lower part of some of the Red Dog deposits up in Alaska, the Teck mines, which is probably the best zinc deposit project in the world. So we've been using that geological analog to say, okay, if it looks like that, how do we vector in on more of the good stuff? And I think we have a pretty good handle on it, and that's going to guide our exploration in 2020.
What you can say on exploration budget, what do you have for 2020?
Well, we'll put a bit more money in the company before summer, so it's hard to know exactly what the budget it'll be, but it'll be at least what we did last year, so probably $3-4 million on site, hopefully at a minimum. But it depends. I mean, there are still base metal investors out there of size. So whereas I can count on existing backers to make sure we get through this summer with a healthy program, of course my job as CEO is to find new ones as well.
And also we see in the last few weeks that the base metals pick up a little bit, the copper coming up a little bit, and so hopefully zinc will follow short time. So maybe then you have a better momentum or a better sediment too. Then
a tailwind would be nice because we haven't had one for a while. So.
Brent, thank you for the update. Next time we see us maybe PDAC or in May I will come back to Vancouver.
Okay.
Then we can discuss a little bit more what you're doing then the next 4 or 5 months.
Sure.
Ja, Update, Fireweed Zinc. Ich finde es spannend. Sie haben 2 Bohrlöcher in der Zwischenzeit bekannt gegeben. Das waren meines Erachtens extrem gute Bohrlöcher. 100 Meter mit echter Mächtigkeit, also nicht mit einfach Bohrloch durchgerechnet, mit durchschnittlich 4%, waren aber mit hochgradigen, über 40%igen Anteile auch drinnen. Das ist eine ganz neue Story. Das ist nämlich das was on the West End, the new drill on the West End.
Yeah.
Das war am Westen von einem Projekt, die sie eigentlich erst 2018, glaube ich, akquiriert haben von Teck, und das ist zwar eher lower grade, aber fängt direkt am Surface an und geht quasi durch. Das sind extrem interessante Sachen. Das Problem, was die Company natürlich hat, ist der Zinkmarkt selber. Keiner interessiert momentan Basismetalle. Wir sehen in den letzten Wochen, dass wieder ein bisschen Interesse kommt, Kupfer und so weiter kommt jetzt langsam wieder, aber generell ist das Problem einfach so, dass Basismetalle nun nicht wirklich im Fokus der Anleger sind. Sollte das passieren, kann das relativ schnell gehen und wir haben am Anfang über die Discovery Group auch gesprochen, er ist Part of the Discovery Group, die Great Bear, wo ich schon ein Interview gemacht habe, ist momentan das Aushängeschild, da haben sie ja ein paar 1000% Performance gemacht, wobei zwischenzeitlich auch Fireweed ein paar 100% wieder zugelegt hat, dann wieder teilweise zurückgekommen ist. Also da kann es extrem schnell gehen. Und das Wichtige ist, dass wir da jetzt nicht irgendwie welche Companies haben, die irgendwie die Company betreiben, weil sie halt ihr Leben bestreiten müssen, sondern das ist einfach eine sehr seriös geführte Gruppe, die nur schaut, dass auch wirklich seriöse Companies drinnen sind, die sie dann dementsprechend weiterbringen. Spannend, natürlich muss der Commodity laufen. Wenn es Commodity läuft, sind die wahrscheinlich vorn dabei und wird wahrscheinlich auch mit relativ Sicherheit ein Projekt sein, das in den nächsten Jahrzehnt oder in diesem Jahrzehnt möglicherweise in Produktion geht. Und das ist eigentlich das Wichtigste, dass man hier Firmen hat oder Projekte hat, die bereits gezeigt haben, dass sie funktionieren können. Ja, das war's von Fireweed in Jänner 2020, Vancouver. Tschüss und Baba. Thank you.
Thank you very much.